Hey guys and girls, welcome back to another exciting episode of All About You. In today's segment, I am going to present to you the biggest news so far in our Dragon Ball Super card game. We have an updated ban list, and I have to say Bandai definitely took their time on it. They made sure they analyzed the problematic cards and they annihilated them. So for one on this list, I'm going to be talking about Bardock. So as all we know, Bardock the Prognator, he is a 1-drop that is a self-awaken that has a free swap ability that lets you go into a 2-drop, specifically usually a Goku or Gohan from the Lineage package, and allows you to pretty much get 2 attacks for 1 energy, essentially, as long as you have the cards there. And Bardock allows you to break even, which is very powerful because basically you're swapping in, you're attacking, you're getting an additional card from your life into your hand. You're able to combo out if necessary, then you swap into a 15k and you attack and you rinse and repeat with the 1-drop Bardock. So you can potentially get multiple guys on board and multiple attacks in for 1 energy. Now, the second card Bandai definitely addressed was Child's Wish. Guys and girls, I already said this in previous live videos and even on some of my most recent videos. Let Bandai do their job. They obviously were able to identify the problem in the meta, and they did. Child's Wish was obviously a problem, but we had to let them get to work, and they did. So right now, unfortunately, Child's Wish is also at 0. So we have 2 of the most iconic cards that went with the deck at 0. And in my opinion, it did hurt a lot of Wish leaders. Unfortunately, I feel like Child Wish being banned is going to decrease dramatically the attendance of any Wish leader, because that card was pretty much the fuel to the flame, and without it, there is no flame. So expect a huge decrease in events overall as far as Wish leaders are concerned. Now, what this means is that decks like Gogeta might come back. The old traditional Shenron into Gogeta, that's still very powerful. So we will see that back because that works on World Peace. Since the format will have slowed down dramatically, we will see other decks surface, and that's not a bad deck to start off with. Am I right or wrong? And then last but not least, Shenron. Almighty Super Shenron. He ended up getting an Errata. Now the Errata is a little different. A lot of people were not so happy with the leader. A lot of people felt that 20 cards in the drop area was too strong. And I'm definitely one of the people that can agree, which is why I said earlier they could have just banned the leader. I'm not a fan of giving erratas to cards because it's harder for newer players to identify with what's current and what's not. So definitely not a fan, but of course for the more experienced players and the individuals who are now able to witness and see what's going on, well, now guys and girls, it's down to 30 cards. So now you need 30 cards in your drop area in order to use the ability to take an additional turn. 30 is much harder, especially with Child's Wish being banned. I'm pretty much saying that for the most part, unless Bandai creates even newer cards coming out that can help self-mill, it's not gonna work. Maybe against Janemba players, you might be able to help those Super Shenron players get back on track. But outside of that, with Child's Wish gone, it's going to be very difficult for the Super Shenron players to pretty much execute their game plan. And I believe that High End Mastery took a huge hit. Without them actually touching the whole lineup, they actually were able to solve the problem with the whole, I lock you down and I game you on turn 4 or turn 5, depending on whether or not you took your additional turn. So Bandai, thank you for doing your job. You guys are always, looking out for the players. I'm happy. I'm a little disappointed. Obviously, you guys know I was biased to the deck since I was one of the individuals playing and dominating with it. Now, I have to choose another deck to dominate with, and that's no problem for me. Can you still play Super Shenron? You can, but it lost a huge amount of power, which allowed a lot of other decks to rise. And if you look at what Bandai wrote, the link will be in the description below. Bandai basically wanted to slow down the format, and they gave good reasons as to why they hit each card. So like for Bardock, they explained about how it was too much the cost efficiency was just too great. They talked about how many attacks you can get in and how you can swap pretty much for free while still maintaining your hand. And, they gave a nice little description on that matter. Then they also spoke about Child's Wish, how it was a little oppressing and it just allowed you to build up your drop area too fast with cards like Boma. And they also listed a bunch of other cards that were abusable by Child's Wish. Fortunately and unfortunately, players were not using those cards, so it kind of just made it like Boma was the main catalyst for Child's Wish, but there were other options, ladies and gentlemen, and Bandai presented some extra different choices that you could have been using. And then last but not least, they spoke about how Super Shenron, again, it's just too easy. Going back to the whole Child's Wish mechanic, it's just too easy to get 20 cards in the drop area, and they're not wrong. 20 cards by turn 2, turn 3, you can get 20 cards. Now, I do have to say that by hitting Child's Wish, I would have liked to see what Super Shenron could have done with it being regularly intact. I didn't agree with the whole Super Shenron Errata, Bandai. So I know when you're watching this video, you guys can maybe assess that in the future, maybe make that tweak, or or in the future in general, just try to limit your erratas to cards, because like I said, it's not good for newer players coming in the game to have to try to figure out what's good and what works and what doesn't, especially if a new player shows up to a big event or even a locals, they can end up getting DQ'd or game losses just based off of the way they're using their leader. So that's just a heads up. But overall, you guys did another phenomenal job in, taming the format. And now we're going to be seeing a lot more leaders coming out of the woodwork. So that's going to be pretty cool. Let me know on the comment section below your thoughts, concerns, and what do you feel is going to be the best deck? Now I'm a little on the fence on what it is. I'm going to be testing a lot of different decks now, since I'm going to be going to a lot more current events coming up, like the one coming up in Gen Con, and of course the Nationals for ARG. So technically 2 ARG events back to back, and then I'm looking forward to some PPG events, and then finally but not least, I'm looking forward to your events, Bandai. Can't wait to see what you guys have in store for all of us players. And well, you guys have the video. You can find all the information again in the link below. Let me know your questions and concerns. And as always, guys and girls, this channel is all about you.